Hello and welcome to my Let's Play of Crusader Kings 2. I have not seriously played this game yet, but it came out a while back. I've recently watched Arumba, who has a tutorial series on YouTube about it. He has a 22-part tutorial series on this game. It's super complicated. But I've watched most of it and I think I understand the basics. So I'm still not an expert, of course, but willing to give it a go. I'm playing with all of the DLC except I turned off Sunset Invasion. Arumba says that kind of destroys the game because it's kind of a fantasy thing where the Aztecs attack. I also don't have the two latest expansions, Monk and Mystics, and the one before that. I am playing with a few mods, but just basically mods that change the UI, give it a bigger interface in 1080p, a blue border on the Dukes, and some font mods to make the fonts a bit bigger and clearer to read. Nothing too special. So let's start a new game, single player. We're going to start at the very beginning. This game is a game where you control, if you don't know much about Crusader Kings, it's like a game where you control a person, a dynasty, throughout 700 years. So this game starts in the Middle Ages and the fall of Western Roman Empire, and a whole bunch of stuff is happening. You can play as one of these people, or what's more interesting is you can do a custom game setup and just basically choose anywhere on the map to play. So it supports kind of the European, Asian map. And if you zoom in here, you can actually choose any of these counties. And you play as basically one of these rulers, the Duke or King or Count. So you could play as this guy as the petty kingdom of Wessex, Oxford. So Arumba suggested to play on Ireland because it's kind of a simple, small terrain. The other mod I am playing with is Reaper's Revenge, I think it's called. And basically it creates a bunch of plagues, so the Black Death and so on. So we'll see that come into effect. So I'm just going to play what Arumba plays in his tutorial series. I'm going to start with this one right here, and we'll play as this dude. So he's 69. And he has no vassals. He's a chiefdom. I guess he's a chief because it's very early days. So this is the crazy Reaper's Due is what it's called. So Reaper's Due, this is the page where you can set all of these different options for all the mod packs you have installed. All the expansions rather. So Reaper's Due, I'm gonna use default settings, so let's reset the default rules. The bubonic plague will appear at the very earliest 200 years after the game started and might reappear 500 years after the game start. After one major outbreak, the epidemic will become an endemic. And then there's minor epidemics. Everything else I'm going to pretty much leave on. Shattered Retreat, I can turn off. Arumba says it's better to turn this off, as far as I've seen from what he does. Let's see, anything else that's interesting? The names of titles may change depending on the ruling culture, so I'm going to try to turn that off. So we'll use the English name for all titles, regardless of the ruling culture. Many culture names name their titles after the ruling dynasty. I'm going to turn that off to be the base name, so it's more easy to understand, hopefully. So if you turn if you change some of these rules, then the achievements are disabled. I'm going to be playing with Iron Man mode, which basically means cannot manually save the game, and Steam achievements are enabled. It's the only way to get Steam achievements. So I'm going to leave Steam achievements on. Because I haven't really played this game, so I'm just trying to go also for an achievement run. But not strictly for achievements, just achievements on is fine. He does recommend turning off adventurers, but that disables achievements, unfortunately. So I guess we'll leave it on. He says adventurers, the bad thing about adventurers, they'll come back with a huge army. And it's just unrealistic and silly. So the rest doesn't matter, I don't think. The rest is fine. So we'll delete this game. That was just playing around with and create a new one. So in Crusader Kings 2, you play as a succession of medieval rulers from a single dynasty. No set goal, but the world is filled with ambitious rivals. Secure more land to increase your power and protect your family. You cannot hold infinite amounts of land yourself. To expand, you need to rely on a vassal rulers. Keep them happy with titles and gifts, lest they decide to revolt. The game will end in 1452, and it's right now 769, so basically 700 years or so, if your line can stay in power that long. As a ruler, your first priority is to secure an heir. If you don't have a legitimate heir, when your character dies, the game will end. Crusader 2 is pausable, and you can make changes, and there's a map. And then we're playing as an Irish Catholic chief. So these are all the different rules. Not going to read this, doesn't really overly matter. Tribes are settled but agrarian. Each county can have one tribal holding representing the entire local population. This music is sometimes loud and sometimes quiet. It's kind of annoying. See, tribal holding. Tribal rulers are limited to elective gravel kind succession law, which tends to fragment the realm between sons and the death of the chief. So basically kind of splits it up between all of your sons. And you only get to play as one of the sons, so you kind of don't want to. This is not a good one for the game. And we'll deal with the rest later. So this is the map of Ireland, yeah, and Scotland and Britain and so on. And it's divided into counties. So the map is divided into a number of counties, each containing a number of holdings. So these are the different holding slots. It's got 4 slots, this slot, and then 3 slots down here. And each holding can be one of 3 things: a castle, a city, or a temple. Counties are ruled by counts, and holdings are ruled by barons. So I'm a count, essentially. It's calling me a chief of Desmond, but I'm really a count. And then this guy is a baron, but since this is a temple, it's calling him a bishopric. Holdings are the basis of the game economy and military systems. Holdings provide tax income, military level levies. Castles have the best levies, aka armies, but the least tax. Cities are rich but have poor levies. Temples are both rich and provide good levies but are hard to defend. Counties have a religion and a culture representing the broad population layers. And then counties also have different technology level. So you can see this is my dude here. And if you click on the portrait, you get a bunch of stuff. I'm not going to read this one because it's kind of more obvious. I'll explain it as I go. So this is me. I don't have anybody above me because we're very early stages of the game where they haven't switched to feudal and monarchs yet. But I do have an heir, a son, and then my son has a son, so I have a grandson. So I'm 69, my son is 49, and the grandson is 19. In terms of stats, my stats are really low. 21360. Misguided warrior, content, slothful, which kind of lowers my stats. Proud. Monthly prestige. And paranoid. My son, who's next in line, mastermind theologian. So he's very good at learning, which is kind of increase your technology level, but it doesn't matter. Technology doesn't matter until you're a duke or higher, which basically means you own a set of land. And we'll get to that soon. Gluttonous. Ambitious. Ambitious is good. Paranoid. Greedy. And then his son is indulgent wastrel. Was groomed to become good with money, and if good means spending it quickly, he certainly is. Stewardship +1. Wrath. Hot temper. So martial's like kind of your war score. Honest. Ambitious, which is good, and charitable. So his stats are pretty good. So then you also have some map modes down here. You can switch between a bunch of different things. Most of them don't really overly matter until you really care about them. The most important ones are the realm one and the diplomatic relations one. There's terrain, religions, cultures. So in terms of culture, we're Irish, Anglo-Saxon, Norse, and so on. You can see all these different cultures. There's tons of them in the map. Economy. This is the more green it is, the better it is. De jure. So you can kind of see. This is the Duchy of Munster. These three right here. And this is the Duchy of Lannister. Duchy of Menth. Duchy of Concat. And the Duchy of Ulster. So we have, Ireland's comprised of all these dukes. And then if you control a bunch of the duke stuff, then you can actually go create the King of Ireland. So we'll strive to be that in our game if we can make it that far. De jure kingdoms, de jure empires, revolt risk, dynasties. This gives you like icons of which dynasty owned what. Opinions. Opinions of other rulers towards a selected character. So nobody really has an opinion of me yet. Direct vassals. Don't have those. Free trade zones. Government types. So we're tribal. Europe is mostly feudal right now. A whole bunch of tribal, nomadic, Muslim. Defensive pacts and epidemics. There's no plagues yet. And then down here we have next song. Click that if you want the next song to open up. Main menu, a ledger. Nothing exciting. Home province. And then like find stuff. You can find a title. You can find characters. This is all the characters in the game. There's just a ton of characters. And they all have different opinions of me. So you can sort by who has the best opinion. So this guy likes me a lot. He likes me because of long reign and so on. You can kind of hover over these to get tooltips of who likes you and why. Let's see what else. You can toggle the mini-map. You can toggle that row buttons. You can put favorites in these slots for some bizarre reason. You can kind of drag these down. Kind of a weird feature in my opinion. And this is all your event stuff, your high priority messages and low priority messages. Outliner. Your wealth. That's how much money you have. Your prestige can be spent. How prestigious you are can be spent. Your piety can be spent and gained. This is how many counties you can control. So my domain is currently 1 out of 3. And my realm size, total number of holdings, castles under control, my score, and then you can pause the game, of course. And then over here we have what you saw. This one, system with my family, and my parents who are both dead. I don't have a mother, strangely enough. I don't know why they don't simulate that. And then grandparents. You can click on the dynasty tree to like see the tree view and scroll all the way back in time. I'm part of this dynasty. Some crazy name I can't pronounce. Rathland. I don't think I can rename it either. But this guy founded it back in the year 460, and he was part of a different dynasty because he was the second child. And the guy that founded this dynasty, there is no living members. There was 12 people in the dynasty, and this guy came out in the year 200, and that's, I guess, where the game stopped simulating. It's kind of interesting. So it's kind of like it's a very detailed ruler simulator. Let's see what else. We're Catholic, Christian, tribal, has a whole bunch of rules about that. Family tree, as we saw, my father's dead, and all the past relatives are dead. And then we just have one son and one grandson. No wives to be found. My son doesn't have a mother, which is really strange. And my grandson doesn't have a mother either. But whatever. That's the family tree. And this is... what is this? It's just a shortcut. I think it's just a view of who... yeah, it's like your vassals underneath you. So if you go to that one county I have, so there's a bishopric underneath a baron, and the baron is owned by this guy. So he's the Bishop of Cloyne, and he likes me 23. And you can get to that guy also by clicking here, and then you'll see, like, okay, he's also my chancellor. So he kind of reports to me. He's my report, essentially. And he has an heir as well, when he dies. Relations, vassals. So yeah, here's my vassal. So here's my vassal the guy that we just looked at. And then we have a court. We can see it better. And then if everybody in my court, there's also a council view. So we have a bunch of different positions, and these guys can actually do stuff, special stuff. A chancellor guy, which can fabricate claims or improve relations. A marshal, which can basically do troop stuff. A steward, which can go collect taxes, I believe. Oh wait, no, second, this guy. Settled tribe, oversee construction. Build legend. A spy master, which can scheme or build a spy network or study technology. And a chaplain, which can go improve relations with the Pope and so on. And then we have minor titles that just like kind of bonuses you can hand out to people to improve their relations. Overall, it's a pretty complex game. There's a lot of UI. That's why I spent a lot of time watching Arumba's tutorial videos. I have a vague understanding of how it works, though. Let's see what else is interesting. So the court. These are just people in my court. It's like this person is just a courtier. I don't really understand exactly what the court's supposed to do. Court mainly consists of unlanded nobles, but also counselors who can be landed, imprisoned characters, and children who are being tutored by one of your courtiers. So I guess it's just people in your inner circle that may or may not be doing things or have special abilities. Kind of weird. Pax and abroad. People who are abroad or in a foreign court. Pax. So we can click this to choose an ambition, which is one of these things up here. These are the things you gotta do. So you gotta get married, you gotta marry, your heir has to get married, you have to pick an ambition, you have to pick a focus, you have to grant some special titles if you want to, and then you have some idle council members. So let's see, let's pick an ambition. So we can amass wealth. So these are kind of like little simple quests sometimes. Paragon of Virtue, get married, become King of Ireland, and see the realm prosper, staying at peace. So it's good to do the ones that like are easiest first. So like getting married is, let's choose that as ambition. You desire to get married. And so we'll click this button to arrange marriage, and then we'll see who's available to get married to. What's fairly silly about the game is it's not all that. It's not really realistic. Now, maybe it is realistic. It's just kind of silly how you're 69 and it presents you with this like 0-year-old and 14-year-old. And there's nobody really like in your age range that even presents you with an option of marrying. So it's like 29-year-olds are like the oldest you can go. And that's mainly because people in your circle, there's not many people in your circle that are marriable, as far as I understand. You can also do like find characters. So you can try to do a search. I'm trying to turn down the volume. That's very loud. So you could try to search for women who are not in prison, who are not married, who are not a ruler. Diplomacy range, yes. Join court, yes. And is an adult. Doesn't matter any of that one. You can save the slot 3, for example. So in theory, these are the people that will marry you. And what we're looking for in theory are people that have good traits, like the strong trait is good. So what I really should do is marry my son off first. Because the strong trait, see these heart traits, they are inheritable. So your children may get them too. And the strong trait itself gives you a bunch of bonuses. So let's see if we can invite to court. So she should come to court with us. Attractive. Dwarf. Attractive. Mainly just looking for heart ones. So after she joins the court, gregarious, trusting. You can also marry, of course, for political reasons. That's a totally reasonable way to marry as well. This crazy old 69-year-old will marry this 14-year-old's fairly gross. But I'm sure it happened back in the day. See, people were pretty messed up. All these traits really don't matter that much because they don't inherit, so it doesn't really matter. Courtier. So I'm just going to marry her. Pick a character focus. We got that one. We got choose focus. So that was pick an ambition. So ambition is get married. Or we also need a focus, which kind of gives us a bonus. So you can do family, which increases your health and your fertility, which might be a reasonable one since we only have one heir and don't really have a big dynasty yet. I also go from, I don't really want to do this one because it's war and stewardship. Business. I'll just go for this one. It gives me also a bonus to health, which is good. At that, you start with 5 health, and if you get +1, that's you'll live a little bit longer. And I'm already probably about to die anyway, so might as well. Okay. I'm not going to bother with the special titles right now. Let's see. My chaplain can go improve relations in Rome with the Pope, because that's always reasonable to do. Let's see how much the Pope likes me right now. So if we click on the Pope, his opinion of me is fairly low, but not super negative. Let's see, is there anything else I want the council to do before we're on pause? Scheme, uncover plots. Build a spy network. Kind of what I want to do is reunite, become a duke and reunite these places. So if we look at, this is the title view, and this is a view of like what's going on with his title. Somewhere you can see how many troops you can raise. What dumb page is that? This is a holding view. So if I didn't explain, you can actually upgrade holdings, like your own holdings. You can upgrade them, spend money, and make them better. So military, I have access to 262 troops. And you can hire mercenaries for a bunch of money. For 150 and a monthly cost, monthly upkeep. But it gives you a lot of troops, like 1,500 troops, which is a ton. So you can kind of conquer everybody with that. And this is the intrigue tab. which lets you do all kinds of fancy things. Gives you a tribal army. I have a whole lot of people, but you need 500 prestige, so I can't do that. Change to a feudal government. Can't do that because of various reasons. Found the Holy Roman Empire. Definitely not going to do that one. Promote commander. Invite a holy man to court. Invite a noble to court. Present a debutante. Hold a feast. One of the things Arumba says to do if you want money early on is to borrow money from the Jewish merchants. You get 300 gold and then expel them, which seems kind of mean, but that's apparently the way the game is designed. And you get a bunch of debuffs for doing that. Like, it's definitely not good. Namely, you get all these bad things happen. You get less taxes and bad diplomacy, as well as your technology isn't as good for a while. But eventually you can get the Jews to rejoin you after you die or whatever. And you can repeat the process as much as you want, over and over again. Which is pretty brutal. But if you want to raise a bunch of money quickly, is one way to do it. Which seems kind of busted to me, because why would the Jews lend you money and then get thrown out? But maybe it happened, I don't know. This is a faction view, religious view, society view, technology view. Roomba says basically the technology stuff you mostly don't have to pay attention to. As a count, which is what I'm at now, there's no technology level at all anyways. You can't mess with this, only when you're a duke or a king. And this is the laws. So right now we are... I think we're in this gravel kind. I don't know where it says exactly where we are now. Yeah, I think the Tannesty is best because you can nominate an heir. And basically it just allows you to choose. So if you get multiple heirs, then your stuff doesn't get split up. So I'm gonna change the Tannesty. Might make everybody a little bit sad, but it probably won't. Nominate. Let's see, this is my grandson, Kingsman. This is my son. So my son will be the heir. And there's no pretenders. So I wonder if that made my grandson kind of mad. Didn't seem to... Oh yes, outraged. Outraged by the change of succession law. Negative 25. Whatever. I'll be dead before it matters. And these are the different laws you can actually... So that's inheritance. This one we don't have access to because we're not high enough level yet. And these are the obligations, vassal obligations. Arumba also says to turn the church taxation down to none because churches aren't going to give you money anyway because they give it all to the Pope. And you might as well have them improve their own land than give money to the Pope, because if you charge them taxes, the money goes to the Pope. If you charge them no taxes, money doesn't go to the Pope. It stays in their own land, so it's best to change that. So might as well do that. And this is like, these are factions that kind of are out to get you, basically. But there's none. And this is about the religion and the Pope itself. And there's a kind of a mini game trying to elect the Pope. But that's all crazy complicated. And I don't really care this game because it doesn't matter to me. It's far away. It doesn't really affect me. We're just going to try to improve relations with the Pope. Because if you have bad relations with the Pope, then bad stuff happens to you. It's a game mostly about religious wars, you know, kind of in history. Once you kind of get your country united, you're going to basically try to attack infidels and so on. Let's see, anything else interesting to do. Ruler's unmarried. I'm going to wait. Yeah, so I got him married. My heir's unmarried. I'm going to wait for her to arrive. I'm going to wait till I care about that. Let's see. He's... Don't really need to do any of these things. Settle tribe. Cultural change to Irish. Isn't this culture already Irish? Yeah, culture's Irish. Yeah, so I don't need to do that inside my own land. Oversee construction. Monthly prestige. Warriors raised. Possibly even raising some eager warriors. If you don't use these troops and go to war, they will get angry at you and you'll lose prestige. So we don't want to do that unless we were kind of more warmongery. Suppress revolts. Train troops. Might as well do that. Improve diplomatic relations. Fabricate claims. I could fabricate a claim over here, I believe. So I don't think I have any claims, huh? How do I tell on that? Claims. There's some dumb UI page that lists claims. Declare war. Must have avowed causes belly to declare war. Yeah, so I'm going to go have him fabricate claims so I can just prepare for it. Unlanded sons. So if you disable something like idle council members accidentally, disable, and you're like, how do I re-enable it? You have to go to this button, and you have to look at disabled alerts, and they'll tell you all the disabled alerts. Idle council members. And dismiss for now, according to Roomba, what it does, it's gone until you reload the game, which is kind of a strange interaction. I wonder why it's telling me this one. Click to cycle through list. It's not like I can give them land. I don't know. Whatever. I'll just save the game. Not that it overly matters, because it's an Iron Man mode. And we'll just unpause it. Wait for people to do stuff. Okay, this woman arrived at our court. And we're getting married. It's a 29-year-old and a 69-year-old. So we can either gain 10 gold or 13 prestige. My prestige is pretty far down, strangely enough. I guess it's because I changed some laws. So I guess I'll gain prestige. I accept your suggestion. Okay. Fulfilled the ambition to get married. So now I can choose a new ambition. To amass wealth. Become pious. Have a daughter. Become king of Ireland. See the realm prosper. Let's just have a daughter. Okay. And let's see. Can he get married? To... I think I was supposed to invite someone to my court. That was good to marry. Did she come? I should have marked her as a person of interest. Let's do that finder again. Attractive. She may have gotten snatched up. Amateur's plotter. Would result in a non-aggression pact. Yeah, most of these don't really matter. Yeah, Roomba says the attractive trait is okay, but it only really helps you with people of the opposite sex. So it's not going to do you a ton of good. I might as well try to invite her. Arrange marriage for my son. To her. Probably what I should have done a while back. With the strong woman. She accepted my invite to court. Oh, this is... I messed up. So she wasn't on the list because she was traveling or something crazy. Maybe I can marry her real quick. Probably not, though. Let's see, it's this one, isn't it? This one. Mark her as special interest, which is by clicking on these dumb buttons. Support your job and toggle special interest. Message. Characters of special interest. Arrange marriage. Arrange marriage to my son. Maybe I can make that happen before. Okay, so they're married. So, yep, so now she's married to the strong person. Good. Alright. Yeah, I don't really care about her opinion of me. It doesn't really matter. Okay. So my grandson still don't have a wife, and he's 19. We should arrange marriage for him as well. I'll just invite her to my court. I'll have my grandson marry her. Arrange marriage to my... Arrange marriage with my grandson. Okay. Yeah, you can kind of force them if they're in your court. If they're not in your court, then they can say no. It's kind of weird, but I guess that's how it works. Discard that message. I'll just advance time until something happens. It's hard to find the time, but whenever I can, I try to spend time with my son. He must see me how important family is and to honor the loving of his parents. Family first. My wife is pregnant. A group of heads knights have come to visit Desmond. The bishop has met with them and asked for my reply. Lavish feast, lose a gold. Alright, let's just lose a gold. That's fine. Participate in the minor tournament together with knights. Sadly, one of those landless vagabonds has been severely injured. Alright, let's lose another gold for some piety. It's not like I'm gaining much money though. My monthly, I'm only going like up a year. I'm up like 1 per year. It's really ridiculous. Daughter is born. Let's see, we'll call her Erica so I can actually pronounce the name. Pick an ambition. So this person also needs to be educated. Like a guardianship or something crazy. But I guess I don't have to do that right now. Pick an ambition. Amass wealth. Piety of 500. King of Ireland. See the realm prosper. Gain 1 stewardship. This mission will fail. I'm probably not going to do any of these ones. These 3. So I might as well take this one even if I do go to war. I noticed that they aren't the best terms, switching both for some quality family time. So Dulong and who's this other person? So it's my heir. Age 50. Sell back. And Dulong aren't in the best of terms. Family first. Greatest time together. I wonder what this guy's opinion of his father is now. My liege, my work seems to have come to fruition by bribing. I've managed to fabricate a claim. Lose 50 prestige. Let's just try using it. And then we'll do the super mean thing that Arumba did. My son has not been himself lately. Notice how he lost weight and overcome by episodes of intense fatigue. Cancerous growth. Sickness and death awaits us all. So we'll do mercenaries. We'll raise our personal levies. How can I tell how many levies this guy will have? You have a new heir. If your child dies now, you'll play as someone random else. So did my son die? I guess he's like super sick. Died of cancer. Yep. Very sad. He didn't even have any babies with this this woman that arranged marriage. Arranged marriage with my kinsman. See, in terms of this one right here, how do I figure out how strong this guy is? Treasury opinion. See realm prosper. Tribal. I guess it's this one right here. That's his levy. So have them fabricate claims over there. This is the unit view. My grandson's leading it. We're gonna hire some mercenaries, some cheap ones anyways. We need 150 gold for that, so in order to do that, we're going to do the sad thing of borrowing money from the Jews and then expelling them. Oh, I lose 100 prestige, so I can't do that yet because I need more prestige. Oh well. We'll just keep their money. Maybe we won't expel them. Let's see, we'll hire... That guy is 7. 18. So I'll hire this guy to go fight our wars for us. Select unit. Merge. And then we'll go over there and get our war on. I think we already declared war on this guy. Did I not? I have a claim. Let's see. How do I look at my claims? Copy canceled. And this one. Claim it on the chieftain. Usurp title. So how do we press the claim? Declare war. Cannot declare war if we have raised any army levies. So maybe I have to disband my levies first. Declare war. Claim. Send. And then I can go raise my armies. Merge these up. And then wait a little bit for them to get some morale going on. So I don't get murdered instantly. Though you cannot figure out what's going on. You don't feel quite right. Malice. Just don't feel well. Siege view. First sign, you have cancer. -3 health. Alas. Darn cancer. Wife is pregnant again. You have a new heir if your character now dies. He's no longer the spy master. He's no longer steward. Succession. Died of cancer. A wicked man will pay for his sins in the afterlife. So be it. So now we are... Man, there's all kinds of events in this crazy game. Why did we jump to this person? Like, what does this person have to do with anything? I don't understand. Desires to get married. He is part of my dynasty. So I guess he was So he was my brother's son. And my son died, and I have just a young daughter. And he has a grandson. Okay, so I'm gonna get married to... Arrange marriage for myself to this woman. Kind of doesn't like me, but whatever. We'll gain some prestige. Man is brought in shackles for you. Apparently he's a missionary preaching. Claims to be on a mission from Allah, creating. Has been caring for the sick in nearby villages. Gain 50 gold. Some other dude far away hates me. Yeah, whatever. Sounds kind of bad. Let's see, what else should I do? Exalted, have a daughter, king, paragon of virtue, amass wealth. Let's do the have a daughter one. Send my troops back over here. Am I or still with this place? No, I'm not. Do I still have claims? Probably don't have stupid claims, do I? Very annoying. Yeah, so the lesson learned is if your guy's old, then don't go to war. Military, disband, get rid of all the people. So I just lost a ton of money. I need 350 to repay the Jews for the money I lost. And I can't expel them because I don't have enough prestige to do that. Very bad. So I have a new claim, but I'm going to lose more prestige. I'll just let it go and gain piety. You can keep fabricating claims and gaining piety. Whatever. So I have 2 sons. Choose a focus. we'll just do the family one again. And all my council members like left, which is also very crazy. Appoint him Stewart, Spy Master. Need to get these people married. Arrange marriage. See. Husband. Mode filter 3. She's strong. She's 52. And she'll join my court. How about you marry my 24-year-old son? I wonder how you can sort by people in your court. Arrange marriage to my son. Very strange. Asked me to get rid of my courtier she finds annoying on one hand. Stay out of this, or just tell her to stay out of it. I was about to lose a bet, although I felt inclined to cheat. I had to be just even, though it cost me some gold. It was worth it. Former told me how his boar had managed to break into his neighbor's hoggery, and the neighbor demanded some compensation he can't afford. Give the neighbor 4 little piglets. The Chief gets diplomacy +2. Just. Chief gains a trait just. Gets a trait just 4. Stewardship +2. Diplomacy +2 essentially is what the question is. Diplomacy and stewardship. Guess I'll just get the trait just. It's fine with me. They already had it. I don't know. I need to read that better next time. Son was born. Do I have a bunch of kids now or something? Yeah. Family first. Inheritance. I can nominate one of these guys to rule. Should go to this guy in theory. Locks a guardian. Assign a guardian. Arbitrary is so bad. Assign her to that person. Lose 40 gold. No way. I don't have that much money. Gain 30 prestige. On a courtesy visit to the abbot of a local monastery, you observe a group of monks translating beautifully illustrated books into your language. I'll buy a few books. Perhaps I'll even read them. Gain 30 prestige is nice, but... Man. Maybe I should do it just to get more prestige. I'll do it. Whatever. Family first. Spend time with the family. Fulfilled the ambition to have a daughter. Pick an ambition. Siege of 1,000. King of Ireland. See the realm prosper. And the other ones are unrealistic, so we'll do that one. 4 kids. It's supposed to go to this person, I think. Heir. Yeah, I think when my son died, I didn't renominate. That was one of the troubles. Gain some piety. Iconoclast faith triumphant. Inherits of the Orthodox faith have steadily dwindled to the point believers are majority. This new state has reduced the Orthodox faith to a de facto heresy. Okay. Alright, well that's a good starting point for the episode. I think next time I'm actually going to start a new game because I kind of messed something up by rallying a bunch of troops and borrowing a bunch of money and then losing it all without actually doing anything and getting any money back. So I'm kind of in a stuck situation. It's going to continue on for a long time. Alright, thanks for watching. See you next time.